Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Talk podcast. Um, hey, I was missing last week. I sincerely apologize. I'll get into all that in a second, but I'm back. I would say better than ever, but I don't know if that's necessarily true, so we're just gonna say we're back. Intentions. We're just gonna get right into it. I literally planned this episode maybe like an hour ago. I did have another one like intended for what should have been last week, and then I was just going to use it for the episode this week. And then I was like, you know what? I have some things on my mind, some things I just kind of want to talk about. That's what a podcast is for. So I literally threw together like these little bit of details that have just been floating around in my head. So that's what this episode is going to be. And the episode I had planned, I don't know, maybe we'll just move it to next week. I don't even know what I have planned for next week. So it'll be thrown in there eventually. Not really a problem, but I don't think any of that detail was in... what? I don't think any of that detail was significant anyway, but I just wanted to throw it out there. My intentions for this week are to get back on my ish. Like I just said, and like I said, I'll get into it in a minute, I've been sick. I feel like I'm like behind. Like I feel like my life is like a week behind. Like I don't know. It's been so weird getting back into routine, but I'm trying to get back into routine. Yeah, I literally just, I think it's so weird. This was like the first time I like actually had to like just set everything up, not really wanting to sit and record. I didn't obviously want to skip 2 weeks, but now that I'm like sitting and like starting to talk and record, like in one of those things where it's like you glad you did it type of situation, that's right now. Like I said, I did not want to be sitting here and recording. I'm just super tired. It's literally 8:32 on a Sunday night. If you know, you know. I could easily be in bed right now. Like in bed at 8:30. How clutch and amazing does that sound? Maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe that's just like the adult in me. But like 8:30 p.m. in bed, potentially could be asleep by 9. Sounds amazing to me. But no, I set everything up and I was like, you know what? I need to record. I need to have an episode out tomorrow. I skipped last week. I need to fill them in, let them know everything that's going on in my life. And here we are. So that was a long story, but basically my intentions are to get back on daily, weekly routines. Yeah, I'm literally sitting here, if you're watching, in my PJs tonight because that's just literally how I was feeling. I was out, I don't want to say all day. I probably left the apartment at like 11 or 12. No, probably earlier than that, actually. Probably like 10:30, 11. And I went to Dunkin' with JJ. I got coffee. I was going to get him Munchkins. Like, I did get him Munchkins. And we were going to go to the park and then, like, get lunch afterwards. He fell asleep on the way to the park, so he didn't even eat his Munchkins. I ended up eating half of them because I hadn't eaten this morning and I was hungry and they were there. And lately, every time I order Munchkins from Dunkin', I've only been ordering like 3 or 5 because normally I get them for JJ and I don't want him sitting there like eating a bunch of Munchkins. Like I just feel like that's not necessary for him. He'll be like bouncing off the wall with like sugar or something. They always end up giving me more than what I paid for, which is kind of nice, but at the same time, like, he doesn't need that many. Like, I'm not ordering that many because he doesn't need that many. So I ordered 5 today I get glazed and chocolate. He likes the glazed, but I throw in chocolate just as like, here's something different type of situation. And first of all, they gave me all chocolate donuts. So like, I'm glad he'll eat the chocolate because if not, like, I'm not a big chocolate person. So I literally would have just wasted money on donuts. But they also like threw in like 10 to 15 donuts. I pulled up to the drive-thru and I'm like, oh, I'm picking up a mobile order for Alyssa, blah, blah, blah. They tell me to go to the window and he only hands me my coffee. And I was like, oh, like I had Munchkins too. And he was like, how many? unnecessary story time, but like I'm just telling a story. And I was like, oh, I ordered 5 of glazed and chocolate. And he was like, okay. Went to go get them, threw a bunch in the bag, and I get the bag and it's just all chocolate and it's like 15 donuts. And I was like, oh boy. So JJ had a lot of donuts. I had a couple, but like I said, I'm not a big chocolate person, so like I would have preferred glaze. But I guess we were dealing with what we had. But yeah, I went out this morning. So by the time I got home, Julian had made this whole chicken I got at the store the other day for dinner, and I made some mac and cheese to go with it. I had some leftovers from our lunch, so like I kind of heated that up. JJ had a little bit of chicken, but he kills shells. Like he loves mac and cheese so much that like that's basically all he ate. I had chicken and mac and cheese on his high chair like table thing. All he wanted was mac and cheese, and then he finished it all and goes, more, and wanted more mac and cheese. And I was like, you literally have chicken right in front of you. Like, eat your chicken. But whatever. At least he ate. So whatever he's eating, I guess he'll just let him eat it. Did that, came home, gave him a bath, ate, like I said. Now he's sleeping, and here we are. I don't know how far deep into this podcast, and we're not even into the episode, but this episode is basically just going to be a little like life update of what's been going on lately with me in my life, what I've been thinking, what I've been feeling. That's why I said like I literally put it together an hour ago. This was not the topic I originally had planned, but sometimes you just got to let your thoughts out. Sometimes you just got to talk. And for me right now, it's just going to be talking into this microphone because that's just what I feel like doing. So we'll talk about being sick. On Saturday, let's see, today's currently February 25th. This episode is going up tomorrow. On February 17th, I randomly at like 10 p.m. started feeling like extremely nauseous. Like I felt so sick out of nowhere. I was out all day. There was another day I went to the park with JJ. We were going around. I like had this acai bowl that I was really craving. Yeah, I don't know. We went to the park. We came home. We were kind of chilling. We ate dinner. He went to bed. I was sitting just watching TV, and I was like, okay, like I'm kind of not starting to feel good. Didn't really think anything of it, but then I feel like I got more and more and more nauseous, and I was like, dude, I'm going to throw up. Like, I'm sorry if you don't like hearing about this, like skip ahead a little bit, but obviously I'm not going into like detail, but like I just felt really nauseous to the point where I was like, dude, I'm actually going to throw up. Ended up throwing up at like 11 p.m. And when I tell you I was like throwing up through the night, it was freaking awful. I barely slept, was up every couple of hours. Like it was just not a night for me. It was like a 24-hour thing because like Sunday morning was the last time, and all day Sunday, like I was fine. Didn't throw up. It's not like I didn't feel good. Like I felt better. It's just like I was scared. I like hate throwing up. I like fear it. It gives me anxiety. It freaks me out. When I tell you my heart was racing leading up to like the point where I actually did because I was freaking out so bad. Like I just hate it so much. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but it's not ideal. Obviously no one wants to, but like it just scares me. Like I don't like it. I don't like feeling like it. I don't obviously like actually doing it. But yeah, so last Saturday was just like a night for me. So through the weekend, I was just trying to recover, which is why I didn't have an episode last week, because I was just not feeling it over the weekend to sit and record after being sick. And obviously I didn't record during the week. So by Sunday night, I just didn't have an episode. Like I said, Sunday into Sunday night, I was fine. I didn't eat anything on Sunday but I was also kind of scared too because I didn't want to get sick again. So I basically was just loading my body up on fluids. I had some Sprite because I would have ginger ale normally when I'm sick, but I just really don't like ginger ale. So I opted for Sprite. I don't know if that really makes a difference or if Sprite is really like a good alternative compared to like ginger ale or anything like that. But I had that. I had Gatorade. I've been on a tea kick since I've been sick. I had some tea because I was trying to like settle my stomach, make sure everything was good, and now I've just been wanting tea like every morning. But so that Gatorade, I had some water because I knew I needed to like replenish my system. I was probably so dehydrated because I was just throwing whatever I had left in me up because I obviously didn't eat much like Saturday night, and then I didn't eat anything at all on Sunday. Monday was the first time I had food, and I started with toast and like something light just to make myself feel better. Monday was also like, Monday was one of those days where it's like I was off from work and I probably could have recorded an episode during the day and like just had it up later in the day, which I genuinely thought of doing, but the daycare was closed on Monday, so I was home trying to recover. Like obviously like I had the help from Julian and everything, which was super nice, but I was trying to recover and JJ was home. Like he wasn't at daycare. If he was at daycare, it might have been a different story and I might have sat for the hour just to record and get something up and then like chilled the rest of the day until JJ was home. But with him being home all day, it just kind of changed the game of the day. So I kind of just called it quits. I was gonna try to record during the week and just have it out like a Thursday, Friday type of situation, just to have an episode out during the week, just late. But I was not feeling it. I was exhausted. That day kind of messed me up. There was another day where, what day was it? I think it was Tuesday. No. Well, Tuesday night, JJ went to bed. Wednesday morning, he woke up at 3:40 in the morning. Didn't go back to sleep until like 4:30, 4:45-ish. And then was up at like 6:45, like ready to go. Like that's he's up, he's at 'em. Let's play, he's awake. I, on the other hand, was not, but was kind of forced to be. You know what I'm saying? Like when your kid wakes up, you're just automatically like, hello, you don't want to be, but now you're up. So after being sick over the weekend and that day on Wednesday of him waking up for, I don't even know what reason. I don't know why he woke up. He did end up like peeing through his diaper. I don't know if that was why he was like, I'm uncomfortable and woke up. I don't know what happened, but he was up. I don't know. So it was just a crazy week to begin with. Definitely by Thursday, Friday, I was exhausted. Saturday, he had a day out. Sunday, he had a day out. So, like, he's been sleeping really good lately. Like, this morning, he woke up at 7, which is sleeping in for him. Baby steps right there. I would rather sleep still past 7, maybe like 8, 9 o'clock, just to get some sleep. But it is what it is. I can't make it happen if it doesn't happen. But, yeah, so by now, it's just... I skipped a week. It was not going to happen. I actually ended up planning on recording this episode Friday, but me and OBS, if you don't know what OBS is, it's the software I use to record the podcast on my laptop. Me and OBS just aren't friends. I already knew that. I've known that for a while. We just are not friends. I don't know how to get on the same page. I don't know how to become like best buds. But we just don't like each other. We're like frenemies. He like works when I want to record, but like he'll have his moments and then like I'm like, okay, I don't like you, and then I give up because I'm like, all right, I'm over it. Like, you want to have your meltdown, have your meltdown. I get it. That's life. It happens sometimes. But that's what happened on Friday. I also messed up my wiring, so I plugged like a part of a wire that should have been plugged into my computer into the camera. So then the camera setting wasn't working on OBS, but like OBS was also randomly shutting down on me at the same time. So it was just all around just not going well. We were OBS 1. I quit. I gave up. I was going to record again yesterday, but I put JJ to bed and like I laid down. I watched Titanic last night. My favorite freaking movie. I didn't finish it. I think I have like an hour left, but if you don't know, like that's a long freaking movie. It's like over 3 hours. But so worth it. If you haven't seen it, definitely 10/10 recommend watching it. I don't know. I love it. But anyways, I have an hour left. I watched that and then I literally stopped and went to bed. Last night was weird. I was so tired, but at the same time, like I couldn't sleep. It was one of those instances. I probably went to bed at like 1. And like I said, JJ woke up at 7, which isn't bad, but I definitely could and need more sleep. But it is what it is. Things got to get done before I can get some sleep, aka this episode. So what else do I have? Had the stomach bug. That wasn't fun. I kind of just talked about it, but life has just been really weird lately. JJ's sleeping schedule, my sleep schedule, because I feel like I've been going to bed late for some reason. Like I don't do anything at night. I literally just lay there. I don't keep the TV on when I sleep, so like I'm literally just in the dark and I can't sleep. Then I eventually fall asleep and then like JJ's waking up and it's a crazy thing. It's a weird sleeping schedule. Like I said, I've been exhausted from that. I've had a little bit of a different work schedule these last couple weeks. I've been working a little more hours than I have been, which I'm not complaining about because A, I'll definitely take the money, and B, like, it is what it is. Like, it's normal amount of hours. I just haven't really been working them, if that makes sense. But yeah, so like the last couple weeks, and then I think this coming week, honestly, might be a little different. So it's just kind of throwing me off a little bit. I'm definitely a type of person who likes a lot of structure. Normally I go into the beginning of the week knowing what days I have off, what days I have JJ, what days I don't, the days he's at daycare and I can do stuff and get stuff done, like that type of situation. So like last week, like I said, the daycare was closed, so I was already prepared for being off from work Monday, but having JJ. So I had to like prepare of like what I would normally do that day, but having him, which obviously I was sick, or not sick, but I was recovering from being sick and making sure I was not sick, that I didn't really do much, which also is just making life a little weird right now because I skipped a week of like grocery shopping and like shopping for the apartment and all this stuff that I feel like we were like dwindling down to like nothing and having nothing, that I didn't realize a week would impact stuff like that so much. I feel like I end up doing big shops on the weekend and then like picking up a little things like here and there during the week that I either wait to get until I'm going to use them so they don't go bad, or like things I forget, like small stuff. But yeah, so what day was it? Saturday. I think I finally went like grocery shopping. I do like grocery shopping at a actual grocery store, and then I do like stuff for the house at Target. So I ended up making like 2 stops. I spent over $100 grocery shopping, and I spent over $100 like buying stuff for the apartment. Like I said, I missed a whole week, so I didn't realize my list for everything was just gonna keep like adding and adding and adding. So by the time I finally went shopping, I was like, oh my god, this is so much stuff, and oh my god, that's a lot of money. So I feel like on Saturday it was just ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Like I've been using Apple Pay recently, which also makes me nervous because I feel like that could just get very dangerous for me, if I'm being honest. But I feel like I just kept tapping my phone like everywhere, that I was like, oh my god, I need to go home and sit home and not spend any more money today. And then like bills from this weekend and bills that are coming up this coming weekend, because it's the end of the month, first of the month, everything's due. Adult life is so much fun. But yeah, I don't know, it's just been kind of throwing me off. Life's just been, I I don't even want to say a roller coaster, but it's just felt super, super, super crazy. But I feel like also lately I've been into this like winter blues are a thing situation. It's been super duper cold these last couple weeks that I'm like, oh my God, this is awful. Like, I feel like I've just been stuck inside, which normally my homebody self would have no problem with that. No problem whatsoever to just be able to just sit home and relax and chill from the week, like work week I just had and all this stuff. I'm not used. Well, I shouldn't say not used because it's been like 3-4 months. I wasn't used to having weekends off. Working in retail, I definitely was like weekends were almost a must. If you weren't scheduled, you were just got lucky type of situation. But I worked weekends for as long as I can remember, and these last couple of months, not working a weekend. And I honestly think it's super great. It's super nice to just have the time off and relaxing. And then obviously like daycare is closed, so like I've that time, especially with my son and all this stuff, being able to take him and do stuff. It's just great. Like, I've been loving having weekends off, and especially now because, so like I said, the weather has been super cold. We had some snow. It's finally starting to go away with the rain we had, I think, the other day. And then also because it's also starting to get nicer, that little groundhog had said spring is coming, and like he meant it, because today, I'm going to tell you what my weather app says. Today it was supposed to be a high of 37, which is kind of nice compared to what the weather has been. Like, if that doesn't tell you how cold it's been, that's also in degrees Fahrenheit. If you're listening, I know some places use Celsius. Degrees Fahrenheit, 37, which is still pretty cold if you think about it, but like that's better than what we've been having. So like, if that doesn't tell you how cold it's been. And this upcoming week is supposed to be, okay, so Thursday says 46, but every other day this week and the start of next week is supposed to be in the 50s, and some of the days next week are supposed to be in the 60s. That, like 60 to 70 degrees is my favorite type of weather. That's like fall type vibes to me, and I feel like with the cold we've been having, 60 degrees right now is going to feel like almost like spring. Like, it's going to feel summery. Like, obviously that's not summer temperatures, but with how cold it's been and snow and all that stuff, 60 degrees is going to feel so nice. Like, nobody's going to know how to act. Nobody's going to know how to act in nice weather because we haven't had it in so long. And I'm so excited. Like, I've been feeling so down with feeling like I've been stuck inside and like got sick. I don't think it had to do with the weather, but just in general, and just feeling so like down. Like, winter blues are really a thing. I feel like winter just makes you feel so down unless you love the winter. I personally am not really a fan. It just makes you feel like down and sad, and you just want nicer weather. You want to be able to go out and like not be freezing. I went for a walk the other day, and I literally did like one lap around where I've been walking, and I had to come inside because like my face was frozen. It was so cold. I thought it was nicer than what it was, and I was slightly disappointed, but it is what it is. You just have to deal with what you have at the moment. That was just not a walk potential day, but clearly they're coming, and I'm here for it. So those have been my weather updates, I guess. That's just how I've been feeling about the weather and that situation. Another thing that life has kind of been throwing at me is, and it's kind of taking me for a little bit of a loop because this is not typically my vibe. This typically isn't something I would talk about or feel or like go through, I guess. But I've just been wanting more, and like I don't really know like what per se. I've just been wanting to like do more or like start a little project, like have a little project going on the side, What project that would be, I have no idea. I don't know what it is yet. I feel like it's gonna be one of those things that might just like come at me and like all of a sudden, like it might be like a shower thought, or like I see it in like a dream that just sounds crazy, but it's gonna be one of those things that hits me out of nowhere, and I'm just gonna know like that's what I've been wanting. Like that's what I've been waiting for to either work on or do or something, but I don't know. I've just been wanting to do something. I've been wanting to work on something that I'm like extremely passionate about. And like I thought for some reason a couple years ago when we started this, I think it hasn't even been a year for this new podcast, but I know it's been almost a couple when we started with the Alyssa and Julian podcast. I thought the podcast would be the thing I wanted. Which, don't get me wrong, like I freaking love this podcast. I love that we started it. I love that I have my own now. I love that I'm doing this. But I thought that was going to be the project for me because of the fact that I was so passionate about it. When I started YouTube, to be honest, it wasn't like I jumped on it being like, oh my God, this is what I need. Like, obviously, I was super scared. I'm such an introvert that like, even now, like filming out in public or anything is usually not my cup of tea. I get really scared. I'd rather like film on my own. I'm sitting in a bedroom right now. Like this is where I have to be. Not sitting in public, talking to a camera, having people stare at me. But I became really passionate about it. I've always loved watching YouTube, and I always thought about how cool it would be to do YouTube. I never would have done it on my own. I'm glad I had that little bit of a push to do it and get on it and get on this train. So now I love it and I love doing it. I love trying to plan those videos. I love planning these podcast episodes. I love recording these episodes. But I don't know what it is. I don't know what little project I need in my life, and I'm hoping it'll come to me soon, but that just might be something I have to like sit and brainstorm. I don't know. I've been having this weird, like, wanting more feeling. And to be perfectly honest, as weird as it sounds, that's usually not my vibe. That's usually not me. I wouldn't like so much going on because then I feel like overwhelmed almost that I either am not doing something or not doing something good enough. And then I just feel like I'm always working on and sitting at my computer. And then I'm not like present in either like my son's life or I don't know, just I don't like sitting and like working on stuff, if that makes sense, because like I want to be doing something else. Like I don't want to say having a life, but it's mostly with my son. Like I want to make sure I'm doing stuff with him. I'm involved with him. He's not just seeing me like, oh, she's here. Like I want him to see that I'm like, I want to play. I want to be with him, like that type of situation. But yeah, I don't know. I have to find my little whatever I need lately, but like I said, hopefully it's coming soon. The last thing I had of just what I've been going through, what I wanted to talk about, kind of really upset about it, is I've been going through this reading slump, man. I don't know what it is. I actually, someone I follow on Instagram, I had watched her on YouTube and then I started following on her Instagram and all this stuff. So you know those like, I think they're called like broadcast channels where people on Instagram have been putting people in like a whole group just to be able to talk to everyone and like through DMs and all this stuff. I joined hers because it's been more of like a book situation to either find books and hear about good books and like all this stuff. She had sent a voice memo in hers the other day saying that she was going through a huge reading slump. So I'm like, maybe that's just like a vibe right now. Like, I don't know. Like maybe it's just, I know me and I know I go through these all the time because I either go through a phase where like I love reading and I'm like obsessed with it and that's what I have to be doing every minute of every day. And then I go through a thing where I'm like, I don't want to touch a book for like years. And then I like don't read for a while. And then I slowly like get back on it. And then it trickles into the whole, I'm obsessed with reading, I want to do it all the time situation. I always went through those phases. Always, always, always. So like I'm not surprised that I'm starting to hit that right now. But I'm starting to hit that right now, and I'm actually upset about it, which is why it's kind of upsetting me, because like knowing I go through these, but like I'm not wanting to right now go through the phase of not wanting to read is super confusing, and it's super weird, and I don't like it. I started a new book recently. It's One of Us is Lying. I think it's a trilogy. I think there's 3 books. There's 3 or 4 in the series. I forget. I know I've talked about it before. When I did my book recap, I talked about what books I wanted to read and what's on my like to be read list. And I started that book. I don't remember when. It's been honestly probably a couple weeks, if not month now. And it's definitely going to be one of those things on Goodreads. If you don't know the app, I highly recommend it if you are into reading. But in Goodreads, if you mark when you read a book and when you finish it, it just has like a timeline of how long it took you to read it. Not that that really is like a significance or anything, but it's just going to be one of those things that I look at, and it's going to take me months to get through this book because I started it and I haven't been picking it up. I picked it up yesterday and I've been reading it lately, and I'm just really excited to kind of like almost push myself to get back into wanting to read, even though like I already want to I don't know. It's the weirdest situation right now, but it's been a weird slump. It's been a weird like I want to, but I've also just been exhausted. So by the time the end of the night comes and I'm winding down and we eat dinner and put JJ to bed and I get myself situated for like the next morning / next day, whatever I can do at night to get ready for the day, I'm just exhausted. And by that point, I just curl up in bed and go to sleep. Like, I don't even want to think about reading. I know reading most of the time makes me tired, which is why I also like to try to read at night, because I feel like I just get better sleep after getting tired from reading than like scrolling through my phone or like watching TV or something. But I just haven't even been wanting to think about picking up a book because I'm already just at the point where I'm like, I need to go to sleep. I'm just gonna pass out right now. Hopefully tonight, after I edit and like schedule this for tomorrow, I'll be able to pick up the book and get back into it, because it is a really good book. Like, I am really intrigued and I love it. It's kind of like it's weird to say like murder mystery type of situation, but I'm really into it and I really like it and I really want to read it, and I definitely want to read the next coming books that come after it, because I think it's a trilogy. I think there's 3 of them, but yeah, I just really want to get into it, and I'm super upset that I haven't been wanting to. But at the same time, there's, like I said, life has just been weird and a lot's been happening, and I don't know, I'm trying to figure everything out and get life back on track, so I'm not surprised that I haven't been into it. But I don't know, like I said, hopefully that changes soon. But with that being said, that is all I have for you this episode. I'm sorry if this seemed really crazy. Like I said, I just had a lot on my mind and a lot just going on lately that I just felt the need to just sit here and talk about it. I hope you guys enjoyed my crazy life ramble. Yeah, I'm sorry I was out last week. We're much better now. I love you guys. I appreciate all your support, and I will see you next week back with a brand new episode. Bye.